Morning all, and welcome to Q&A time again. Today is a special day. Well, today isn't a special day. Tomorrow is a special day. Tomorrow is my birthday. You can all wish me happy birthday in the comments if you like. What do you want? Yeah, that's lovely. I'm recording the video. Yeah, I'm going to be 53. That's mayhem. I think her real name's May or Maisie. I lose track of the cats' names. They start off as one thing and they develop into something else. We've got Boliv, Flea. I'm sure their names didn't start off that way, but they are what they are. Yeah. So today's special is my birthday tomorrow, and of course I'm going to have a nice relaxing day off. I've got a spa day, but no have I eckers like. I'm picking up in St Albans at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means I'll probably be up about 4:30. I don't have my birthday off. I'm not 12, but I'm kind of hoping that I can get finished early, because sometimes you do, particularly if you start that early. St Albans to Bicester, then if I'm really lucky, Bicester to Dunstable, or even maybe just go home. I did have a job booked and I accidentally cancelled it. I'm so gutted. I had a job booked, a friend of mine rang me up and went, "Can you do a job for me?" And I went, "Yeah." And I'm just a shipper, mate, And then another good shipper who said, "You all right for your usual Monday?" I said, "Sorry." I texted him saying, "Sorry, we're booked." But I sent the text to the wrong person. I sent the text to the guy who had booked me, and as a result of which, I lost the job that I had booked and the job that was offered. But I managed to pick one up. But the other reason, right, so I want to show you something. It's my birthday. I've got my birthday present for my wife early because it's framed. Look at that. It's an album cover. It's Never Forever by Kate Bush. I think it's a great album cover. I think it's a great album, actually. But that isn't a photocopy. She painted that. She actually drew and painted that. She's a tremendous talent, my wife. That flamingo over there. See that? There you go. Just about to see the head. She painted that with someone else. It's great. Loads of the art around the house. She paints it, so it doesn't cost me any money. But also, she's pretty much, I think she's brilliant. I'm well pleased with that one, And the other reason, it's my birthday, I bought myself a present. I bought myself one of these Mickey Mouse, that's not Mickey Mouse actually, a Instago 360. Now there's the Instago 362, that's the new one. Which is lovely, but it's nearly 300 quid. And then the Instago 360 on eBay, second hand, £129. So I've done a new video with it's just tiny little things about the size of your thumb. It clicks on there and it's magnetic, or you can click it here, click it there. It'll be coming out probably end of next week by the time I've done all the editing and all that kind of stuff. But it means we're now going to get a Pete's eye view, Pete cam, without having that massive thing attached to the top of my head. Like when I was doing Paint Your Wagon, So anyway, that's all coming up. So before we start, we've had a couple more suggestions of Courier Driver of the Year awards. Paul Davis, the Best Security Gate End. Yeah, that could be a good one. And Steve Campbell, my mate, the nefarious Steve Campbell, who's, I'm really pleased with this. He said, I was speaking to him on text and he kind of went, he said, "I've actually got a job because of you, kind of. I was speaking to the lady at the firm he's now working for, and she started up because she saw the videos and thought, I fancy a go at that. So as a result of her watching the videos, she started a company and has now employed my mate." So that's great, isn't it? I love it when that all works out. My favourite game, the one where everybody wins. He said the luckiest or unluckiest career award. Steve, I've got to give you a Steve Campbell award because it's you, isn't it? It's nefarious Steve Campbell. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to narrow them down next week. And we'll put the categories in and then we'll start collecting, and like I say, we'll try to do something maybe at the end of next year. It's just a bit of fun, that's all. It's nothing serious, nothing heavy, just something to do. So right, so on something which is slightly less becoming a bit of fun to me, I'm starting to get a needle with this, I've got to be honest with you. It all started when a guy turned round and he says, what are the emissions charges done for your trucks? And so I did a thing on what the actual result of some of these charges and zones and all this kind of stuff had an effect on me in a van, but it was a very small effect because you pay a little bit of money. Everybody just expects you to tap it on, but trucks is different. It's heavy. It's £100 or £50, and if you go in when you're not supposed to go in, it's £500. It's a lot of dough, So Yeah, so we started the ball rolling on this, but we'll come to that later. Before we go on, let's see what you guys got to say about it. Clifford Dunt says, it's just another way to get your money, nothing to do with the climate change, etc. Clifford, you've hit the nail on the head with that one. Same as speed cameras, nothing to do with safety, just another way of getting more money. I don't know if it's true for speed cameras. I know I get the needle about speed cameras, but I'm pretty sure, I know speed cameras have definitely slowed everybody down. Because, and it's dead handy as well, because, you know, before you had to remember to slow down, and now you just got to speed the car in front of you because everyone's terrified of getting tickets. And it does mean that people have now started going through towns and villages at 30 rather than 40 because they're frightened of getting tickets. And I imagine that probably has made a difference. Having said that, I've been nicked on cameras before, and you go, there was absolutely no reason for that camera to be there. I was on the Yorkshire Moors, and it went 40, 30, 40, one house, and I got done. And I'm like, I don't believe it. It was right, just there was nothing around. Industrial estate over there in the distance, and I thought, there's no way that camera needs to be there. So, yeah, but no, I take your point, and I definitely agree with you with the climate change thing. But this is, we coming to this. So, Dean 9050 says, just another tax. Surely in London it must be affecting deliveries. Well done, Khan. Mr. Khan, I don't think Mr. Khan brought it in, did he? I think it was Ken Livingstone brought it in. I mean, that zone charge has been in there since congestion zone certainly has been there since I was a market trader. Emission zone, that might be. I don't know. Politics isn't really my thing, although it might become it. Christ knows I couldn't. I wonder if I could last more than 44 days. What's the shelf life of a lettuce, isn't it? Apparently. So, oh dear. TC Services says, I've been thinking about getting a newer van, a Euro 5 or 6 engine, but they're so expensive these days with my old VW T5 with only 80,000. That's the other thing that frustrates me. It's got 80,000 miles on the clock, so it's a very low mileage van. It's probably in very good condition. Seems bomb-proof. I do stay out of central London, but sometimes I enter the LEZ zone. But every shipper expects you to add to the price. That's exactly what it was when I was driving a van. Portsmouth does have a CAZ zone, but my van is exempt from paying it. I did get done for driving in the Bath CAZ zone, that's the biggest joke in the world, without realising they had one. On a separate note, I'm starting to see loads for car jobs on the CX now. Okay, well, I don't look, everything I scan is for a 7.5 tonne and upwards, so that may be the case. We might need some more information on that. So, my mate Rock God, I've been in contact with a lot more recently. He said the CAZ zone in Manchester is due to start early this year as a result of, a peaceful protest. It has now been postponed and is under review. I think the peaceful protest probably started when they decided to make the CAZ zone for Manchester. I think it starts somewhere around the Icelandic Circle, and I think it finishes in Australia. It's huge. It's not like okay, it's just the central bit. It's just them three streets in the middle where there's a lot of pedestrians and schools. No, it just takes into account. We just take account everywhere. We just got to take money off everybody. Poor people's tax. Just take that money. Yeah, I think it was due to the Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham using data collected in the middle of Manchester city centre to justify a zone covering the whole of Greater Manchester, Bolton, Bury, Rochdale, Oldham, Hyde, Stockport, Salford, Trafford, Wigan. It just goes on and on. He's right. As it was just targeting commercial users from taxi drivers, couriers, builders, buses, coaches, trucks. It was just a stealth tax targeting a lot of self-employed people who had no alternative to pay as their vehicles of their livelihood. You could have a Ford Transit and be charged because you're using it for work, but if you drive a Ford Mondeo to commute it with the same engine, you wouldn't be charged. I know some tradesmen were going to sell their small vans and buy an estate car to avoid the charge. Yeah, you'd get a people carrier, put the seats down. That's all you'd end up doing. Like I said, it's just a stealth tax working on people. Mate, 100% agree with you again. Absolutely. I'm starting to get peeved. For want of a better word. It's slightly more than peeved. This is going somewhere. MC Spike Sky says, good to hear from the man on the ground. I'm going to be the man on the ground. So, right, so what I'm planning on doing now, and also, I haven't done one. Godzilla's broke it down for me. And it literally, I mean, the man broke down. What is annoying me is how much of a carbon footprint it takes to build a new vehicle. So they say it's all to do with emissions, but you've done the emissions building a new truck. 4 times the emissions building a truck than the one that you've got existing is ever going to pump out in its lifetime. So I'm going to do a separate video because I think Godzilla's put so much effort into it. I think he deserves it. And also, I'm on a mission now. I'm going to start on this. I'm going to start. I don't know whether to sort of complain. I don't know if you can complain about the zone, but I think you can complain about what it's called. Stop calling it an emission zone. Call it exactly what it is. Poor people's tax under the guise of ecology. Or just call it, I don't know if the campaign is going to be, I think I'm going to go, because other things. Call it what it is. It may be, with a camera thing, the speed camera. You call it what it is, But I don't disagree with speed cameras particularly. I know it's a controversial thing to say, but if it stops child death, slows us down a bit. Don't get me wrong, I hate it if I ever get caught on one. But yeah, I'm going to do Godzilla's. I'm going to think about it. We're going to do another Q&A. I might need your help. I don't know when you start. What do you do? Write to your MP? I don't even know if I've got an MP at the moment. Are they still in crisis, aren't they? Or do I have to start talking to mayors? Do I have to picket people? I'm going to have a go. Why not? If you don't like something, you can sit and just sort of complain about it. Or you can do something about it. I'm going to do something about it. So, anyway, on a more jolly note, there was my Saturday jaunt along to Celtic Manor. Very nice. So Gareth Cross says, he said, I live about 5 minutes from... Oh, I've got my standing. I keep forgetting to do that. 10, 50. I'll write them down, the timestamps now. I don't have to try and find them out later. Could we do timestamps now? You can look at the bottom of the video. It's all divided into sections. So if you just want to get straight to the miscellaneous or something like that, you can whiz to the end or something like that. Gareth Croft says, I live about 5 minutes away from Celtic Manor. Celtic Manor, Celtic Manor. I'm not sure which one it is. Nice to see you back in Wales. In Wales, quite a lot, actually. I used to work in a distribution centre. You can't have a member of staff for every bay because that's uneconomical, as all bays are not in use all the time. You tend to have 12 people per 50 bays. You're lucky. Back in the day when we used hard trucks, you would be there for 3 hours minimum. Now distribution centres have electric drive trucks that can take 2 pallets at a time off. Oh, and the ICC Wales has nothing to do with sport. It's a convention centre. Well, thank you for clearing that one up, so I didn't have a clue. I take your point that you can't have one man for every bay because then you might have staff sitting around doing nothing. But I think 12 people to 50 bays is too little. Because if you've got, as I say, if you've got a lorry sitting there for 2 hours, that lorry is going to be charging, I would charge waiting time at 50 quid. I expect the shipper probably to pass it on at 50 quid. They don't get a lot of money for waiting time. That means that the money that it costs you to have that lorry sitting there for an extra hour is 50 quid. So, rather than having that lorry sitting there for the second hour, you could have employed 3 members of staff. And I think the balance is wrong. I think you need 24 people per 50 bays, 2 per bay or something like that. That way lorries would be in, out, it would move much more smoothly. It would actually cost the distribution centre less money because they wouldn't be paying waiting times on trucks, and there would be more trucks on the road doing the job they're supposed to do and not causing a driver crisis. Maybe I'll put that in my manifesto. Which I'm slowly developing. I never thought it would come to this. Shane Hardy says, all the people you came across seem nice. Must be a Saturday thing. I'll be honest with you, Shane. All the people I come across seem nice every day. They're all right. It's again, be jolly. Sort of. I did a video, didn't I? I've got to remember how to do this. This counts, so it goes there. Yeah. Like how to deal with moody fork truck drivers. As long as you go in happy, most people are happy. It's kind of cool. It's okay. David JM says, thanks for the video. That's right, David. Looks like you managed to get out of Wales before the rush of the local matches. Football, rugby, working weekdays are worse. After 3 p.m, I have seen tails back from Magor services to Brian Glass tunnels. I kind of know where that is. I hope I didn't pronounce that too badly. I did ask my good lady if she wanted to turn round and join the fun, but for some reason she refused. Probably because she's very sensible, I would say there, David. Off the Grid T-Bone says, this is why I work every weekend. So much quieter and easier. I love it, and better money. I'll be honest with you, T-Bone. With the cost of living crisis coming, and because I've lost Circuit, I used to do videos for them and they really looked after me, and I don't do that no more. And the fact that my mortgage runs out on Monday, you might see me working a lot more Saturdays. I can do work 1 Saturday and 2 on my driving hours, and if the jobs come up, I'm going to have to put them. Because, times is hard, winter is coming, and money's money. So we'll see. Rock God makes a good point. He says, hi Pete. He says, be careful with perfume. Due to the alcohol content, it's sometimes classed as hazardous goods as it's flammable. I've recently transported perfume and had to have my ADR hazardous goods to move it on. Obviously, it depends on the alcohol content, the amount you're transporting, the size, container, bottle, all that thing. If it looks like the pallets you had were wrapped in black shrink wrap, you couldn't see the boxes. Just to be on the safe side, I would ask at the loading point to look at the boxes. If they're small individual bottles in cardboard boxes, the hazardous good diamonds should be on the box. If you see the boxes where there should be a hazardous good diamond sticker on a back shrink wrap, I guess I'd say they are probably limited quality goods which you can legally carry, even though a lot of companies still ask for ADR aware driver, as long as your insurance covers you. Limited quantity hazardous good are identified with a diamond which has white in the middle and a horizontal black line at the top and bottom. Right. If you need any more, give us a shout. Cheers. Yeah, it's another tricky one, isn't it? The problem with the ADR is I always have a fear, because you flip the little thing on the front. I think it's orange. We had one once. To say you're carrying ADR, and you need an ADR license to carry a lot of alcohol. If you're carrying anything over 40% proof, you can technically need ADR. But some shippers will say we need ADR, and some shippers will send you in. The problem is if you get pulled by the transport police, and they'll go, "Have you got ADR license?" And go, "No." Well, what are you carrying this for then? Can't have that, mate. You know. So, but it really should. I mean, I thought my biggest fear is they wouldn't let you on site if you didn't have the ADR license, but most people don't seem to care. So it's a good point, well made. Thanks very much for bringing it up. And Godzilla says, Cardiff. He said my Luton was from Cardiff, from a certain plumbing supplier there. As I was a few doors away from dropping one day, I thought I'd swing in and say hello and point out. Tippy-toed into customer services. I own your old Luton. I thought I'd say hello. Is it still running? They went. It's a wonder. I wish it hadn't stopped by after all. The noise is signaling a breakdown I heard all the way home after this. So yeah. So basically, when I've got your old Luton, they went. Yeah. Ignorance is bliss sometimes there, my friend, isn't it? And Steve Campbell says, I may as well watch while I'm waiting 3 hours for recovery now. His tyre went. This is another frustrating thing. He told the firm the tyres are on the way out, they need replacing. They didn't change them, and the next thing you know, he's on the hard shoulder, the tyres all gone, and I think the boss's son or something like that came out with a spare. If there's a problem, get it done now. Harry says we're losing a little bit of air overnight on the truck. I've got Mark doing it this morning. The fuel gauge on FH10 is 40. Get it done. My power steering, as I pull out in the morning, as I turn it to the right, it went once. One noise all day. I've got Mark checking it. Because the last thing I want is for him to turn around and go, your pump's gone. But if you had told me this 2 weeks ago, it was just a rubber seal. But once the rubber seal was gone, it's busted the pump. I'll nip it in the bud. Get it done now. Besides, we're driving heavy lorries here. These things need to be looked after. Right, on to the wise guys. Mahood Ahmed said, can you tell me the best sat-nav, please? In my experience, Mahood, I would say Waze is my weapon of choice. Some people like Google Maps. 50-50 between the two of them. I find Waze as the nudge. The only problem I have with Waze sometimes is if for some reason something comes in like a message or a phone call, it has a tendency to cut off, whereas Google Maps doesn't. For a lorry, I recommend Road Lords. I base this on the fact they're both very good sat-navs and they're free. There are other ones out there you can have. A lot of people swear by Garmin, a lot of people swear by TomTom Pros and stuff like that, but you're into the realms of 400 up to 700, 800, 900 quid. Both my sat-navs work very, very well for me. They give live traffic updates, they get me where I need to go, and they don't cost me any money. So that's what I would say. I would say Waze for a van and Road Lords for a truck. And also Steve Campbell, because we said about Deliveroo, I didn't have Deliveroo work, so he's coming as the wise guys here. He says you don't bid on Deliveroo. They send you jobs showing distance to pick up and distance to delivery with a map and also the job price. You as the rider driver have a choice of whether to accept it or not. It wouldn't send you miles away to a pickup, as they track where you are and match jobs within your immediate vicinity. So that's basic works. You're on a bike in Dunstable and a job pings up going from, I don't know, Kentucky Fried Chicken in Dunstable to some Crescent in Dunstable. You're 2 minutes away and you can drop it off in 10 minutes, and that job will go off to anybody in a bike in the area, and there's a price on it, and the first one to say yeah I'll do it takes it, I guess. But thanks for filling me in there, Steve. So right, we're on the miscellaneous now. Van on the Run. Van on the Run has his own channel out there. Let's do him a little link. He's still up to about 850 subscribers. I'd love to see this man get up to 1,000. If you get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can monetize your channel, which means you get adverts before, but they're only 3 seconds long. And it means the guys that are out there that are making the content actually get a couple of quid for doing what they're doing, because there are people out there that are sort of trying to pass on information, and it's only a drink, it's pocket money, it's enough to take the missus out maybe once a month or something like that. But let's give Van a big shout out there, because he's been commenting for ages, and let's see if we can get across to his channel and maybe hit the subscribe and the thumbs up button to the boy, like, you know. So he says, because I said about biscuits, going in to getting end user customers. He said a great idea about the biscuits. He said, in a past life, there was a rep who always bought us biscuits. We didn't usually let reps in if they just turned up, but with him, we put the kettle on and bought the biscuits. Rude not to, absolutely. I always thought it would be good to bring them free pens when visiting for the first time, or something else that they could use alongside a flyer or a card. I know my mate Daniel at Turbo Diesel has got mouse mats, he's got mugs, he's got pens, he's got calendars, has the whole lot printed. So there you go, because that way, you think, we need a courier. Right, there's a number on this mug. We need a courier. Mind you, that is a very nice pen. Yeah, Piggy999. I love the pen. Mate, it doesn't count if I've told you win the pen first. It only counts if you don't know. But thanks for the comment anyway. I think... Yeah, I think to secure regular contracted work, it's necessary to have a full set of terms and conditions and a standard contract in place to work from. Most companies expect this, and to help future issues. They are just boring to prepare and quite a lot of work up front. I'll worry about it if I ever get any contracts that look like they're worth their salt, like, you know. But in the meantime, we're working on that one. Anvil Logistics says, thanks for the advice to mention. Another guy out there with a channel, Anvil Logistics, check him out. Guys out there doing the thing. If you're thinking about getting in the industry, don't just listen to me. I'm driving lorries now. There's plenty of people out there that will tell you what it's like and what's going on. Van Roman says, are your books available on Audible? I had a search, nothing turned up, only hardback versions on Amazon. They should be softback versions on Amazon. I'll do you a link to the website if anyone's interested. There's a couple of books out there. I've written more. There's some short stories on the website as well, which you can read for free if you like. Ironically enough, my mate Ben, he's got a production company now. His name's Ben Price. He's got Priceless Productions. And he's having talks with somebody who might be interested. It kind of helps when you've got a YouTube channel and a few subscribers and stuff like that, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I didn't do it because I thought it was going to be J.K. Rowling. It would be nice. I did it because I wanted to. But one day I think I'm going to write one about the courier exchange. I'm not there yet. So, but yeah, no, they're not on Audible. Who knows what might happen in the future? I've got a microphone. I thought about recording them, but it's time. You know, a lot of my time is taken up doing other stuff. One day, maybe. Addy Saxman 77. These bidding platforms have killed the man and van job. You get bozos just outbidding you to get the job, and they're doing it for peanuts. Mate, it happens. We've had the conveyor belt of fools. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is try and do a decent job yourself and hope that slowly but surely you'll get a reputation. When they go, I'm not going to book that other guy even though he's 50 quid cheaper. I'm going to book Addy because I know Addy's going to do the job and not break anything and turn up on time and be jolly and all that kind of stuff. It's a dog eat dog out world out there, mate. All you can do is try and carve yourself a niche and crack on, you know. And Zeffy says, let's see, I think this was to do with one of the things I did on apps. He said, let's see your mug for 5 minutes. Obviously, that's what people want to see. Why? I still don't know why, but I'm grateful for anybody else who watches and listens. Thank you. And in conclusion this week, Paul the Trucker says, I do a lot of work at TM Morris. Luckily, though, I'm never there long. All the containers are maritime. So I just drop one, pick up the empty one, and go. Yeah, I think that's what my mate Ian does. He does one job a day, and literally he's an Arctic driver, and he'll turn up with like a trailer, drop it, pick up the next one, and take it where it needs to go. And that's what he does. It's a simple life. I think he quite enjoys it. Another one of Rock God. I can't believe this. Pete, he said, I've just seen. This was when I did that job over to Celtic Manor. He said, I've just seen you away with the fairies. I was parked up at Corley Services. You'd driven in and parked about 5 spaces away, but I was on the phone to the police as I had my curtains cut overnight. I was planning on coming over to say hello, but within 10 to 15 minutes you left. I was probably on a quarter of an hour break, that's why. and I was still on the phone to the old Bill. I thought I did blast my horn as you drove past in front of my truck. Your windows open as well, and you were just in a world of your own, scanning the horizon. Yeah, I tend to be. I was probably in a world scanning the horizon, clicking buttons on cameras to make sure that I was taping it. But I'm gutted. And also, I'm very disappointed in the fact that you think that being on the phone to the police is more important than actually speaking to me. You should have hung the phone call up. You can ring back any time you like. What's the odds of us two of us being in the car park at the same time? But my friend, I'm sure it'll happen again. So yeah, that's it for this week. Like I say, I've done that video. I did one yesterday on the impossible drop. This drop where they're sending me into this place which you just can't get into. Again, you don't need to be a courier driver. You need Miss Martwell on this. We sorted it out. So that one will probably come out at the end of next week, and it's got the new Mickey Mouse thumb camera on. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get everything done because it's my birthday weekend. I'm going to sort of enjoy the time with the family, and I'm not going to take care or take money.